All right, let's go.
Welcome to History in Progress, where we document businesses building in real time. I'm your host, Noushky Fabulous. Today we have a special guest. He's the host of One Mic History, Michael. Hi.
Hey, how you doing? Thank you for having me, man.
I'm
I'm excited. This is
good.
gonna be fun.
Thank you for taking your time to be here with me. How are you?
Uh, I'm doing wonderful. It's a good day. It's a great day.
That's great. Can you tell us what you do?
Wow. I mean, by trade, I work in tech. I'm a cloud engineer, but my passion is, I guess, I become a Black historian. I kind of think of myself as a Black history historian. I run a podcast called One My Black History. It basically chronicles and talks about stories of Black history, the Black experience. I'm mostly focusing on 20th century Black history, so that's like more current stuff, but not, like I try not to talk about slavery, you know, but I don't shy away from it. Like the big thing for me these days is showing agency and talking about stories where not just like a sad, trauma, but I want to talk about like how we fought through that.
Yeah. So, how did you like what was the inspiration to create this? Because this is a big deal. When I clicked on it, you're doing research. So, this is not just
Yeah,
something that you're saying and you're reiterating. It's something in which it's basically a project.
yeah. So wow, you know me before, but I was doing the cut with my friends and my homies, and I just bored with it. I wanted to do something a bit different, something more. I felt like it was more that we could be doing other than 51st dates or like who should be paying the bills in the household. Like we could do more than this. So I don't know if you remember him, but this is white guy who had a podcast, and he did Tulsa Race Massacre, so Tulsa Massacre, and I remember listening to it and thinking, "Yo, this is dope. This is fire. I love everything about this. I want to do something like this." So I went and created one mic like on my own. Like I wanted to do things and kind of, I don't want to say get my 10,000 hours, but at least get comfortable in front of the mic by myself doing this stuff alone. And it was awful. It was horrible for a while, but eventually, just get comfortable in your own skin and comfortable telling these stories, and it gets much, much, much easier. So yeah, I don't have a degree. I just a guy who kind of like history and then turned it into a business. Made my way to a business, turned myself into a historian.
Well, I think that don't have to have a degree when it pertains to that. You just need to have an interest. Because I find that
Yeah,
when you have interest, there's certain things that you're going to look at that other people don't care about. Like when I
yeah,
watched one of the videos, you spoke about the year, the month, the time, the
yeah,
outfits, the attitude. And to me, that's passion. If you didn't have passion, you wouldn't care.
yeah. And also, like a big thing about this is while I make money from it now, I spend a lot of time doing this for free. So that passion has to be there because if you're not making money and you're putting out videos for free or you're making very little, it doesn't feel worth it. If you're not doing it because you feel like you're doing something worth doing for free, then you're never making to the point where you're gonna make money from it because you're not gonna enjoy it.
So how was the monetization process in terms of like one mic history? So was it something in which it slowly happened or it happened out of nowhere? So it transitioned from a hobby to a job?
Um, what's wild is I first started on YouTube. Like so YouTube was the platform of choice because it was the one that had a pathway that I could make some real money. So I started on YouTube and I got to 1,000 subscribers. The early monetizations is 1,000 subscribers and 4,000 watch hours. That took me about 10 months. But even after the 10 months, I was making, they have a threshold. You have to make over $100 in their 30-day period before they will pay you. So I went several months where I was making $60, $80, and I wasn't getting paid. I would just get like a check every 2 months for $140, $160. That's less than minimum wage. That sucks. And
Hmm.
then I did a video on black folks in Cadillacs. The story about black people in Cadillac. And I had around 7,000 subs at the time. And it felt like overnight. It wasn't. It was supposed to course of a couple of months. But I went from 7,000 to like 60, 70,000 really, really quickly. I looked up in just a matter of months, I was close to 100,000. And then from there, it was a business. Like people started to remember, they would say, "Oh, you're the guy with the Cadillac videos from the Cadillac videos." I even saw like people doing like copycats who would, copycat on the other Cadillac video or videos like that video, or would take my thumbnail and use it and repost it in other places. It was weird. It's a weird experience. You know what I mean? Yeah, I got you.
Can you
Yeah,
hear me? Okay.
yeah,
But it's so good that you're so credible that people are able to take your material, because I saw like a few little clips. I don't know, specifically on a gossip site where they had like one of your clips, and I was just like, this is his voice. Like I immediately know his voice, but the way that you do the transitions, the cinematic, and the voice, you taking it as someone from like national, like History Channel and things of that
yeah,
sort.
yeah.
Like I like seeing the progression of businesses go from hobbies to full-time jobs. Because at first
That's
it
wild.
seemed like you were just kind of like, yeah, whatever. And then all of a sudden it was just like one mic history. And I was like,
Yeah, yeah, yeah,
I was like, okay, Morgan Freeman. I was like, all right.
yeah,
The money got
yeah,
up, the production got
yeah,
up.
yeah. Well, at some point you had to get serious about this. Though. Like I'm gonna tell you what happened. I had a month, and this is not to be a flex, but like I had a month. I made like $6,000-7,000. And it like completely changed the way I viewed this. Up until that point, I had made like, $500. It's just cool. It's just nice. But then it was like, oh, I can make real money. I better get serious about this, what I'm doing, and make this into a real. I take it seriously. I have to upgrade and while I'm still just doing everything myself, I need to be better. I need to be working to be better. I need to be better in myself. I need to make sure that that what I'm telling you is true, but also that this is entertainment, that you view this in a way that you're like, oh yeah, I enjoy watching his video. I learned something, but I enjoy watching this. So this is where the natural progression where like, oh, now I gotta get serious. Oh, I have to make this entertaining too. This wasn't just for me. This is people watch this now.
Yeah. Now, is this just your full-time job or is it one of your jobs?
I flip flop back and forth between like working and not working. So I was working for the Panthers doing a deployment for them. And then after that ended, I was just a full-time creator. And then I'm getting ready to start a job really literally tomorrow.
Yeah.
And then I'll work that and I'll still create, but I won't the schedule won't be as rigorous. I think for me, I see a date where I don't have to work at all. I just don't know if that's just YouTube. I would need like multiple revenue streams all coming in together, like not just YouTube, but YouTube and Facebook and Substack and all of these different things all coming together to make a bunch of money, more money than I'm making now.
That's interesting that you said that, because when I enrolled in a creator program, they speak about the power about being creators, but then having multiple forms of income and maximizing from your content. And I find that it's very interesting, but then also very complex. It's not only about YouTube, it's doing like multiple streams and monetization so then you can get multiple checks. And what you're doing is you're creating like a residual where it's
Yeah,
like it doesn't matter if you're sleeping or vacation, you're going to
yeah,
get thousands, hundreds of dollars. And I'm like, "Oh my god, this is
yeah. Especially
fascinating."
especially like YouTube fluctuates a lot. It's very predicated on what's going on in the world and people's feelings. Like Black History Month, of course, I do well during Black History Month, but like January is a bad month just for creators in general. But having something like this is why I've been big on Substack, because Substack, I could build an audience and I own that audience, and that audience is mine. I could take that and go somewhere else. But also, this is an audience that I can monetize myself. Like some of them do donate money, but it's also I can run ads against them. So this is another place or just creating shorts like that. That's also a thing that takes time. You have to create shorts because I can't use my long form video. I have to make the shorts independent. Like the data will be the same, But the videos are new videos of me talking, facing the camera, having to do this. But it's just another way that I can make money. I'm doing so much right now.
I literally imagine Dexter's laboratory where he's like,
Yeah,
hey, and just has like all the
yeah.
computers and the sound.
This is what it really what it's like. Like so, I had a live stream today where I was talking to the guys from Black Menswear because that's a whole idea where I'm trying to be more human because people don't see me a whole lot. I
Yeah.
want you to realize that I'm not like in the world of AI. I want to introduce some humanity into what I'm doing, but also I'm creating shorts and stuff for threads every single day that I put out so I can build that brand and people can see me and that's another revenue stream. And I can see wow when people look at me and they're like, Mike, you do a lot. I'm doing this because I see a light. I see the light at the end of the tunnel where I don't have to do nothing. You see what I'm saying? Like I'm doing it now because I see a point where I don't have to do as much.
Can you hear me?
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm sorry. There's like a little bit of so completely when it pertains to that because I was presented with that. And so far, I've been creating that where I'm like, okay, let me do my videos. Let me do the long videos. Let me do the shorts and the
Yeah.
clips and then add it to different social medias and try to schedule it. And I'm like, whoa,
Yeah.
this is
Yeah.
overwhelming. Like, I'm not even going to lie to you. This morning, I had a little bit of a breakdown because I spent like 7 hours yesterday and I was reformatting, exporting. And you know how it is when you're dealing with these apps. It's like
Yeah.
the computer's breathing hard, and you're like, nah, you're going to be fine. So the next morning, I'm expecting like 4 videos to be posted all over social media.
Yeah.
It only posted 2 and called it a day. And I was like, but then that let me know how serious this is becoming a
Yeah.
creator. Like, this is not
Yeah.
just someone posting one video. It's like, no, you got to do clips, you got to do hashtags, you have to check over things, you have to look at analytics, you still
Yeah.
have to talk, you gauge. This is not just you showing up and everyone saying, I'll give you money.
Yeah.
So it's
You
definitely
have to,
great.
it is there is a real trust that needs to be built up between you. And this is especially prevalent on Substack because I'm not the best writer, and it's been this maturation process
Yeah.
where I have to like get comfortable writing people to the point where they'll give me money. But like there's this trust that the people have to build up when they see you as a resource. Where like, and you have this too, this ability to be a master of your subject, whatever that is. Mine is history. You know what I'm saying? Yours to be cooking. And then people look at you and they're like, well, when she posts something, I know that it's gonna be good. It's gonna be delicious. I want to hear what she has to say. And that's what I'm doing here. So where people look at me and no matter what I'm putting out, I can sell that. Now, one thing I will say is AI has helped me out greatly in like uh, uh, um, being more efficient in how I do things, how put together a bunch of information. So I'm not constantly having to read. I could just be like, pull out a bunch of books and then I can have Notebook LM and they'd be like, hey, this is the overall story. And this is where you can find that in these books. Look through that and then get that information. And now I'm not reading entire books. I can do things a lot more quickly. This is how you can afford to put on when you're a one man shop, do things. I have help, I like to think of AI as help. But like ultimately, it needs to be me. It has to be me. When I go on these lives and I talk about my history, or people ask me questions about history, I have to know those subjects behind it. I have to know them inside and out. And using AI ain't gonna help me do that.
That's
Yeah, yeah,
great. Yeah, for some reason, at every time you end it, it like mutes it. So I'm just like,
yeah,
maybe it's because it's sensing the end of the question, but I know I'm gonna have to fix it. Don't worry, people. I'm hiring people with the budget increasing. But I wanted you to expand on the AI because I
mhm,
find that AI is convenient, but then it's also scary. It reminds
yeah,
me of the old school videos, not videos, but you know, the movies where the house would be technology and essentially
yeah,
AI, and a family would come in. And then at first, it feels good. The, the robot is microwaving food.
Yeah, yeah.
helping the
That could be the floor.
homework. Yeah, and it's
Yeah,
real cool until
yeah,
now this AI robot is starting to act like a wife
yeah,
and
yeah.
then gets mad when people don't come home on time and it shuts
Yeah.
everything down. So can you expand on the benefit of AI, because I know that you also have background in tech.
Yeah. So one of the things that like I like AI is you have to frame AI like it's a tool. Like AI can't be you because when you put out your videos, if you put out videos, this whole thing was created with AI. It's not you. It's AI. I mean, you might as well send AI and check, because that's not you. When people in this content creation space, people are searching for humanity. There's so much slop out here, so many videos, so many things that like I know I'm not sure she's created by AI, or I don't want it to be associated with AI. I don't want to know that. So your forward facing self, it has to be have as much as humanity as possible. At least that's what I believe in. Now I will say this: my dad thinks of himself as a historian, and all he does is create AI videos. And I tell him that they're terrible, and no one wants to watch these. No one is going to enjoy this, and he will not listen to me. He's like, I have no time. I'm
You
like,
don't
you
think so?
retired.
You don't think
You are
that
retired.
people of his generation don't like that? Because my mom will watch like the worst edited AI video, like presidents dancing and riding
Yeah.
donkeys. And she's like, look, it's real. And I'm like, Mom, no. And she's like,
Wow.
yeah, they're dancing.
So my dad will create like a video about, D-Day, the war on Normandy. But the data that he sources is all coming from AI. He's like just literally right in the front. Hey, do the Allies storming the beach of Normandy, and then have Morgan Freeman narrating. And I'm like, bro, why would you even do any of this? Even if you had an AI video, at least narrate yourself. Like at some point, some of this has to be you. Like this is not your work. This is anybody. Anybody can be you because you're not you. You're not none of this is you. To that point though, the problem with AI, at least in the larger space, is that it's not nearly as good as they sell it to be. There's this idea that AI is going to take over the world. It's going to replace you in the workplace or replace you in the home, and you're going to have some AI robot that you can touch naughty bits with. And that's just never. That's not the realistic. It's not realistic. What we have now is AI that is good at mimicking people and good at like so I can feed it information and it can become better at writing, but it's never going to be better than the source material that it's created from because it's based on people. So it's always going to be flawed and error and full of errors. And this idea that one day your toaster is going to start cutting your grass is not. We're not that AI tech is not. It's not there yet. It probably will never be there. When you see these tech bros and they're like AI in 13 months is going to be smarter than people, that's him selling dreams. That's not the reality. The reality is they have a product they're struggling to sell, and they need to sell you dreams so that you would invest in that product. What we have today is a glorified email editor. It is very good at editing your emails and not much more than that.
I absolutely agree, because when they first like introduced us to Chat GPT, I was like, okay, hi Chat GPT, and like spoke to it, and then it had one moment where I asked it a simple question,
Mhm.
and it said something really stupid. I think it was something pertaining to like a letter, and it just
Yeah,
like said something, and I was like, what did you say? And I was like, research. And it was so adamant. Because now I don't know what they did with the update of Chat GPT, but before it used to be very gentrified and very corporate.
yeah,
Now the Chat GPT now it matches how you talk. So
yeah,
it was like, no, sis. And I was like, no, sis. I was
yeah.
like, fix your language and stuff. And I was like, no, Chat
Don't
GPT
do
is
that. Don't
not
do
what
that.
I thought.
Don't do that.
I
I
thought
remember.
I thought Chat GPT was going to be how Grammarly was. You know, like
Yes.
when Grammarly first
Yes.
started, and being in college and high school, oh, that thing helped
Yeah.
me so much in terms of just like fixing my sentence, being able to elaborate citations.
Yeah.
The problem is with Chat GPT, when you research and you get the answers, you still got to research more to make sure that
Yeah.
you're not just
Those
writing
are
some type
legit.
of nonsense.
So, what? Two points. One, I love ChatGPT for editing my own words. Like, hey, this is what I'm trying to say. Change the tone so it sounds more professional, or it does this, it does that. That's the thing where it's excellent. Taking your own words and then editing it or maybe cleaning up the grammar is where I think it excels. And I don't think anyone would ever claim that you things are written by AI if it just takes your words and edit it. At least I've never had that problem. Um, two, God, what was the second point you made? I done forgot. All that quick, I was saying something and I done forgot where we were. What was the last thing you said?
It'd be like that. We were talking about researching and Chat
Oh,
GPT. Yeah.
yes, yes. Okay. So I told the story about how Martin Luther King had gotten arrested in Atlanta and they were getting ready to send him to prison. They were getting ready to send him to prison. And his father, Martin Luther King Sr., told at the time Nixon and Kennedy were running for president, right? And he called Nixon first, and Nixon was like, he didn't even call him back. So he called Kennedy, and Kennedy is like, yeah, we'll help you. Anyway, the story is they got him out of prison, and King Sr. got everybody to switch their vote from Nixon to, because he was conservative, to Kennedy, and Kennedy won by a small margin in that presidential election. And it flipped how Black people saw Democrats, how they voted. They hadn't voted, they didn't give a Republican more than 25% since that moment. But that's not the point of the story. That was just to talk about a story, a small thing that turned into a really large thing.
Yeah.
And I was looking for a story like that, another story like that, because it resonated with me. But you can't Google that. You can't Google, I'm looking for a small story to turn into a big story. This is where chat is very good. Hey, chat, can you help me find a story from Black history where a small thing turned into a very large thing? It tells me this, it proceeds to tell me this story about one of the kids who from Brown went to the Board of Education. I forgot the name. Their last name was Brown. They were like, it was 5 cases put together, but they were the name that was put in the lawsuit. So their last name was Brown. Anyway, the story is like, hey, they were going to this school and the facilities were unequal. And one day they went to the water fountain, and the water fountain didn't work. And the uh, um, administration was like, don't worry about it. You can get water later. You don't need a working water fountain. That's a good story. So I go research it.
Yeah.
Bullshit. Complete bullshit. Never happened. Not a real story. Made it up. Sounded good. It sounded
Chat
so
GPT made
good.
it up.
It made it up. It told me this story and none of it existed. I went and looked for it. I could not find any source to back up this story whatsoever.
Oh
This is
no,
what I'm
that's so
talking about.
good.
You have to get in behind chat, and chat will make you. It wants to please you. It wants to make you feel good. It wants to give you what you asked for, and it doesn't care how it gets from point A to point B. If it got to make up a story, it'll make up a whole story for you.
Now, before I transition to the other question, I wanted to add my conspiracy thoughts to it. I find that Chat GPT was created to record and also absorb human thoughts. So as people are writing and they're talking about their relationship, it's creating personalities. So I find that the final result that they're going to do is create a robot or an advanced version in which they're able to get private information from. Because at first,
You,
Chat GPT was used as like work, but now people are
yeah,
talking about, should I break up with this person?
yeah,
Should I
yeah,
divorce? Should I do bank accounts? And people are putting
yeah.
personal information there. So I think that they're retaining
Mhm.
all of this just to create something even more stronger.
I I could totally see that because I know plenty of people. I used to work for a boss who would not take my word for nothing, but would take Chat GPT as the word of gospel. I was like, nah, I don't think that's a good idea. He's like, it is. The chat told me it's good. I was like, nah, don't listen to chat. Listen to me. You paid me. You paid me. Don't listen to chat. And one thing I was talking about with my homie, because he invests, so he's kind of like invested in AI doing well because he invests in AI companies.
Yeah.
And I was mentioning to him that like if you're looking for it to one day start to have feelings or emotions or you fall in love with your robot probably will never love you. Your robot will be like a psychopath where they are mimicking emotions. They know that you're sad, oh, they're there. maybe pat you on your back so you feel better. But in reality, it don't know what sadness is. It just knows this is what I'm supposed to do to make you feel better in the moment. So I think that's what we could expect, especially with they're collecting data from people. Then you can get the correct response because this is what they want.
A complex form of scamming.
Yeah, very much so.
Yeah.
Very much so.
So my next question is, what advice you can give to people who want to do the same thing as you? Because I find that this started as something that you wanted to do to see what happened, but give advice to people that intentionally want to do something that you're doing.
Wow. If you want to be in history specifically, especially Black history, it's such a lack of creators, and a lot of the guys that are in my space, like some of them I love, but a lot of them either don't know the subject or like the integrity's not there. Like it's a weird space. You get a lot of people who don't really know the history. They're just posting moments like, "Hey, Martin Luther King was born today." They don't understand it. Like there's no follow up. I would say to find a niche that a lane that no one else is in. If you really want to grow, like I know that everybody wants to do everything, and you want to talk about history and dance and politics and all these things, you can. But at first, when you first get into this, you need to nick down and find your lane, find the gap that people are missing. Specifically, like if you want to talk about like my lane and where I am and how I gravitated to where I am in this space right now, it's because I saw that people were getting tired of sad stories. They were getting exhausted with stories about slavery, sad with stories about like us marching and lynching and how we're being mistreated, and really wanted to find more stories about us overcoming and winning and how we would win. This is where you can find your lane in whatever that is that's been underserved and give them that. And when you find something that people like, you shove it down their throat till they can't stand it no more. You continuously keep giving them that over and over and over and over and over again till they're sick of it.
Yeah.
It works.
That answer. I didn't expect it last. Now, what would you tell your younger self about what you're currently doing?
There's no way my younger self would have believed that they were here. Matter of fact, I can't believe like 2019 me wouldn't have believed that I was in this space. I remember I was talking to my mom, and my mom just recently found my videos. And honestly, and I can tell her this, but I was kind of proud that she's listening to my video and she was proud of me. And I'm not. She's never said nothing. I've been doing this for a while, and she came over for the Super Bowl and she was like, "I saw your video." And I was like, "That's my baby. He got a big old head, but there's a lot of information in that head." And I was like, wow, you really check out my stuff.
Yeah.
So yeah, I would never have thought I would be in this space. We went to the Renaissance Fair, and I remember I just went on palm readings, just like a joke. And she was like, you're gonna be a preacher one day. I'm like,
Mm-hmm.
church. I'm going to go to church. I don't preach nothing. And I casually mentioned this to like one of the guys from the cut. He's like, what you do now is not that far away from that. It's similar. It's kind of like it. And I was like, damn, that is right. So, like, I don't you prepare for the unexpected. What I would say, most importantly though, is be more serious about school. I was never a good student. I didn't see the importance of it until I got out. I was 23 when I started getting in tech, and I was looking back at myself. I was like, oh, that's why you go to college. That's why you need that. Hey, this is hard. Life is hard. I didn't have to live like this. I could easily go on to college. The knowledge was there. I just didn't have a drive. It never made sense to me until it was kind of too late. And now I'm saying, hell, but I wish I had done some things differently, even though all the steps that I've taken is what got me to this place.
Mm. So you would tell the younger version of yourself, be prepared.
Yeah, yeah,
Be
be prepared.
prepared. And
Be
then you would
prepared.
just like blend into the darkness. And it's like, what do you mean?
Yeah, here, be prepared because you do not know the person that you're going to become. Because younger me, man, I was a mess. I was a mess. I was a mess.
Gosh.
I was working at UPS. I was 23,
You
working
worked
part
at
time.
UPS before you did tech?
Yeah, I was working. I graduated from high school. God, I'm gonna take myself. You can be like, you're so old. I graduated from high school in '99, and I worked at
Woo!
UPS for like I know.
I'm
For
kidding. I'm
like three
kidding.
years, for 3 or 4 years, 5 years. I worked for it for 5 years, and I remember I was going to ACPI at the time, and I was getting ready to graduate, and um, I talked to the advisor. He was like, "Yeah, for UPS." I was like, "That's what I'm doing right now. How would you say that? I should flip this table on the money I paid you." But like those moments had to get to the point where I took this life seriously. I took what I was doing seriously. Like I had been coasting for life so long that people see me now. They're like, Mike, are you not even the same person? I had been a joke. Had I treated job, I got fired because I was just like, life is life.
I find that there's like this connection between creators being fired or quitting their positions before they become creators. Like, I haven't seen someone that said, "Hey, I wanted to be a creator," and became a creator. They had some type of point in their life where they were just like, "I'm just going to do this while I'm, doing something
Yeah.
basic and I want to entertain myself," and it becomes a career. And I just love hearing that transition because to make
It's
something a hobby to like something where it's like you can pay your bills, you can go to vacation,
yeah,
that's
yeah.
amazing.
Yeah, I think it's really, honestly, I think it's awesome. And granted, I'm a bit older, so I never had these dreams. I didn't grow up with the dream like, hey, I want to grow up and be a YouTuber. I want to grow up and be a creator.
Exactly.
Like that was never a dream for me. It just kind of happened. And one day I look up, I'm like, oh, I guess I'm a creator. This is weird. This is a weird space for me. Especially when you start doing it full time. You're doing it, it pays your bills. And you're like, hey, what do you do? And I'm like, make YouTube videos, like Mr. Beast. Sort of.
I love that. And how can we find your content?
Oh wow. You can find me at One My Black History. That's my website. All of my stuff is aggregated there. I'm also extremely active on Substack. So if you join Substack, that's where you can talk to me every day. I'm answering questions and posting notes and articles. So that's my baby. Also, I'm big on YouTube. I think people really enjoy it. Most people find me through my videos and they kind of disseminate down to the other things that I'm doing. So that's probably the first place to start is YouTube, but you can find all of that content at One Mic Black.
Okay. Thank you so much, Michael, for coming here.
Thank you for having me.
All right. The recording has stopped. Thank you